Hey, Flo here with another Bible reading stream. Hey, Alameen, and hey, Leo, thanks for the lemon. Just getting ready here. Got kind of a late start, as I sometimes do, because I was working on random stuff. I'll talk about that at the end of the stream if I remember. Okay, so all right, so today we are still in week 4 on the third day, which is Genesis 19 to 21 and Mark chapter 3. So I'm going to say a quick prayer and then get into it. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for preserving us, protecting us. Thank you for the things that I was able to do today, even though I felt discouraged. Doing something creative was good. At least it was something. But I did have a hard time motivating to do the things I thought I might do. So maybe tomorrow we'll see. Pray that you'd give me strength to do that. Thank you for everybody that might drop by today. Pray that you'd bless them and meet all their needs. Encourage them. Don't let the enemy have them in any way. Pray that you would fight for us, keep us safe. In a spiritual sense, especially. Protect our hearts and minds in Christ. I pray that anybody that doesn't know the Lord Jesus Christ would find him while they live and find value in following him and getting to know him, getting to know you. Thank you for all these things. Pray that you would bless the reading today. Help me to read clearly as I can. And yeah, thanks. In Jesus' name, amen. Change the font today so we got a little bit more of a style to it. Okay, let's go for it. We're on Genesis chapter 19. The two angels came to Sodom at evening. Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. Lot saw them and rose up to meet them. He bowed himself with his face to the earth, and he said, "See now, my lords, please turn aside into your servant's house. Stay all night, wash your feet, and you can rise up early and go on your way." They said, "No, but we will stay in the street all night." He urged them greatly, and they came in with him, and entered into his house. He made them a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. But before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, surrounded the house, both young and old, all the people from every quarter. They called out to Lot and said to him, "Where are the men who came in to you this night? Bring them out to us that we may have sex with them." Lot went out to them to the door and shut the door after him. He said, "Please, my brothers, don't act so wickedly. See now, I have 2 virgin daughters. Please let me bring them out to you, and you may do to them what seems good to you. Only don't do anything to these men, because they have come under the shadow of my roof." They said, "Stand back." Then they said, "This one fellow came in to live as a foreigner, and he appoints himself a judge. Now will we deal worse with you than with them?" They pressed hard on the man Lot and drew near to break the door. But the men reached out their hand and brought Lot into the house to them and shut the door. They struck the men who were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. The men said to Lot, "Do you have anybody else here, sons-in-law, Your sons, your daughters, and whoever you have in the city, bring them out of the place. For we will destroy this place, because the outcry against them has grown great before Yahweh, that Yahweh has sent us to destroy it. Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who were pledged to marry his daughters, and said, Get up, get out of this place, for Yahweh will destroy the city. But he seemed to his sons-in-law to be joking. When the morning came, then the angels hurried Lot, saying, Get up, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the iniquity of the city. But he lingered, and the men grabbed his hand, his wife's hand, and his 2 daughters' hands, Yahweh being merciful to him, and they took him out and set him outside of the city. It came to pass, when they had taken them out, that he said, Escape for your life. Don't look behind you, and don't stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be consumed. Lot said to them, Oh, not so, my lord. See now, your servant has found favor in your sight, and you have magnified your loving kindness, which you have shown to me in saving my life. I can't escape to the mountain, lest evil overtake me and I die. See now, this city is near to flee to, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape there. Isn't it a little one? And my soul will live. He said to him, Behold, I have granted your request concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow the city of which you have spoken. Hurry, escape there, for I can't do anything until you get there. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. Zoar means little. The sun had risen on the earth when Lot came to Zoar. Then Yahweh rained on Sodom and on Gomorrah sulfur and fire from Yahweh out of the sky. He overthrew those cities, all the plain, all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew on the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he had stood before Yahweh. He looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and looked and saw that the smoke of the land went up as the smoke of a furnace. It happened when God destroyed the cities of the plain that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the middle of the overthrow when he overthrew the cities in which Lot lived. Lot went up out of Zoar and lived in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he was afraid to live in Zoar. He lived in a cave with his 2 daughters. The firstborn said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come into us in the way of all the earth. Come, let's make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve our father's seed. They made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father. He didn't know when she lay down, nor when she arose. It came to pass on the next day that the firstborn said to the younger, Behold, I lay last night with my father. Let us make him drink wine again tonight. You go in and lie with him, that we may preserve our father's seed. They made their father drink wine that night also. The younger went and lay with him. He didn't know when she lay down, nor when she got up. Thus both Lot's daughters were with child by their father. The firstborn bore a son and named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites to this day. The younger also bore a son and called his name Ben-Ammi. He is the father of the children of Ammon to this day. Bunch of messed up stuff. So yeah, I would imagine that Lot and his family were quite influenced by the place where they lived with all the immorality, which is very evident. It's also, I wonder if where Lot went, if he was even aware that the whole world wasn't destroyed. I haven't really thought of that before, but maybe from his perspective, it was all destroyed or something. I don't know. It's weird because I don't know why he would live in a cave. That's kind of strange. But then also, his daughters were like, there's no one for us to marry, so we have to sleep with our father. It's just weird. Weird train of thought when they could just go somewhere else where there are people. It's almost like they were isolated and thought the whole world was destroyed and they were the last ones left or something. I don't know. I've never really thought of that, but I guess that's possible. I don't know the history of what happened to them after that. But anyway, that's a thing. Let's see. And it's also weird that Lot was willing to live in that terrible place with the massive evil stuff. I don't know. I mean, sometimes people live in a place like that if they're like a follower of Jesus and they, like in modern times, because they think they might have a good influence. Or, Jesus went to pretty messed up people and, saying things like, the sick are the ones that need a physician, not the healthy, that kind of stuff. So, but I don't get the impression that's what Lot was doing. So you have to wonder if he was maybe influenced by that stuff. Who knows? We'll never know. All right, so let's go on to chapter 20. Genesis chapter 20. And by the way, I don't know. A lot of people think that the Bible is just a bunch of stories and it's not that important or whatever, but if you actually study archaeology or follow a lot of the findings, they quite confirm a lot of the stuff in the Bible. Some of it just hasn't been found or uncovered yet because they don't know exactly where everything happened, but watch some videos that they think they've found the remains of Sodom and Gomorrah, which is interesting. But anyway, let's go on to chapter 20. Abraham traveled from there toward the land of the south and lived between Kadesh and Shur. He lived as a foreigner in Gerar. Abraham said about Sarah his wife, "She is my sister." Abimelech, the king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream of the night and said to him, "Behold, you are a dead man because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife." Now Abimelech had not come near her. He said, "Lord, will you kill even a righteous nation? Didn't he tell me she is my sister? Even she herself said, 'He is my brother.' In the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hands have I done this." God said to him in the dream, "Yes, I know that in the integrity of your heart you have done this, and I also withheld you from sinning against me. Therefore I didn't allow you to touch her. Now, therefore, restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. If you don't restore her, know for sure that you will die, you and all who are yours." Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants, and told all these things in their ear. The men were very scared. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, "What have you done to us? How have I sinned against you, that you have brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? You have done deeds to me that ought not to be done." Abimelech said to Abraham, What did you see that you have done this thing?" Abraham said, "Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place. They will kill me for my wife's sake. Besides, she is indeed my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. It happened when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said to her, 'This is your kindness which you shall show to me. Everywhere that we go, say of me, he is my brother.'" Abimelech took sheep and cattle, male servants and female servants, and gave them to Abraham, and restored Sarah, his wife, to him. Abimelech said, "Behold, my land is before you. Dwell where it pleases you." To Sarah he said, "Behold, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, it is for you a covering of the eyes to all that are with you. In front of all you are vindicated." Abraham prayed to God. Hey, Yuri. Thanks for the thumbs up. Abraham prayed to God. God healed Abimelech and his wife and his female servants, and they bore children. For Yahweh had closed up tight all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. It's weird that Abraham keeps doing this trick where I guess it's just a running thing. Like, he told Sarah to do this wherever they go. Tell them that she's his sister. It's also strange to me. I know people lived longer back then, but she must have been a super beautiful woman because she was at least 75 at this point, possibly 90. I can't remember exactly, but she's pretty old. But still, everybody thinks she's so beautiful that it's like, gotta be with that woman. Pharaoh and Abimelech, probably everybody else. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. But that's the way it goes sometimes. I don't know what that's like. Definitely not. All right, so let's go on to chapter 21. Oh, I need to fix something here real quick. Too many things going on here. Let's see. Let's see what this does. All right. So I had you now hidden from the chat window because it was showing all those is watching messages, and it was like first couple times I streamed it was like way too many, but we'll see how it goes. I don't get as many of them now as I used to, so I'll turn it back on. Hey Rob Mac, how's it going? How's it going? Just doing some Bible reading. Let's see, which chapter am I on? 21. So, Genesis chapter 21. Going well, you? I'm doing okay. Doing okay. I'm alive. Somehow. I guess that's good enough. I forgot that you're on. Oh, yeah, of course you're on Kick. You're on Kick, probably because of Gives a Minute. Are you still hanging out with Gives a Minute? You now is amazing. Are you using a multiple stream service like Restream? Yeah, I use Aircast, which is cheaper and possibly better. I like it better than Restream. Restream is way too expensive, but yeah. YouNow is actually the more difficult place to restream to because of their FTL technology. It doesn't stream as often these days. Yeah, I still get notified, but I don't. It seems like he usually streams at a time I'm either working on something or asleep or something, but yeah. Every once in a million years I pop into his stream and lurk or say hi, but not like I used to. I don't really watch streams that much these days. Mainly because I found that if I watch too many streams, I tend to get burnt out because the accumulation of all the hours that I stream plus all the hours that I watch streams just gets too much, like, of course I would like to be more community oriented and be all in everybody's chat, but it gets overwhelming. So I kind of have greatly reduced the streams I watch. There's only like one or two people that I watch even kind of regularly. And it's not even that regular, really, to be honest. But yeah, just the way it goes. I just came to the conclusion that it's healthier for me to basically stream if I'm going to stream and just not spend too much time on streaming platforms. It's kind of same ideology that I cut out social media, like I don't do any social media. But I was just realizing that, being on YouTube or being on streaming platforms is basically the same thing, same effects. You just kind of get addicted and then you get pulled in more into it than you really want to or what's healthy. So I kind of backed off quite a bit. And yeah, just the way it goes. Anyway, I'm going to read chapter 21 and then I'll pause for chat if anything's there. So, all right, let's go for it. Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahweh did to Sarah as he had spoken. Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. Abraham called his son who was born to him, who Sarah bore to him, Isaac. Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has made me laugh. Everyone who hears will laugh with me. She said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned. Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking. Therefore she said to Abraham, cast out this handmaid and her son, for the son of this handmaid will not be heir with my son Isaac. The thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight on account of his son. God said to Abraham, don't let it be grievous in your sight because of the boy, and because of your handmaid. In all that Sarah says to you, listen to her voice, for from Isaac will your seed be called. I will also make a nation of the son of the handmaid, because he is your seed. Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and gave her the child and sent her away. She departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. The water in the bottle was spent, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. She went and sat down opposite him, a good way off, about a bow shot away, for she said, don't let me see the death of the child. She sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. God heard the voice of the boy. The angel of God called to Hagar out of the sky and said to her, what ails you, Hagar? Don't be afraid, for God has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Get up, lift up the boy, and hold him in your hand, for I will make him a great nation. God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. She went, filled the bottle with water, and gave the boy drink. God was with the boy, and he grew. He lived in the wilderness and became, as he grew up, an archer. He lived in the wilderness of Paran. His mother took a wife for him out of the land of Egypt. It happened at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, captain of his army, spoke to Abraham, saying, God is with you in all that you do. Now therefore swear to me here by God that you will not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son. But according to the kindness that I have done to you, you shall do to me, and to the land in which you have lived as a foreigner. Abraham said, I will swear. Abraham complained to Abimelech because of a water well which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away. Abimelech said, I don't know who has done this thing. You didn't tell me, neither did I hear of it until today. Abraham took sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech. Those two made a covenant. Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. Abimelech said to Abraham, What do these 7 ewe lambs which you have set by themselves mean? He said, You shall take these 7 ewe lambs from my hand, that it may be a witness to me that I have dug this well. Therefore he called that place Beersheba. Beersheba can mean well of the oath or well of 7, because they both swore there. So they made a covenant at Beersheba. Abimelech rose up with Phicol, the captain of his army, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba and called there on the name of Yahweh, the everlasting God. Abraham lived as a foreigner in the land of the Philistines many days. All right, cool stories. Well, yeah, I think Sarah's like 90 years old at this point. Abraham's 100. Alrighty, so let's see. I think Mark chapter 3 is what we got next. Yup. Do. Alrighty, let's go for it. Mark chapter 3. He entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there who had his hand withered. They watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. He said to the man who had his hand withered, Stand up. He said to them, Is it lawful on the Sabbath day to do good or to do harm, to save a life or to kill? But they were silent. When he had looked around at them with anger, being grieved at the hardening of their hearts, he said to the man, Stretch out your hand. He stretched it out, and his hand was restored as healthy as the other. The Pharisees went out and immediately conspired with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him. Jesus withdrew to the sea with his disciples, and a great multitude followed him from Galilee, from Judea, from Jerusalem, from Idumea, beyond the Jordan, and those from around Tyre and Sidon. A great multitude, hearing what great things he did, came to him. He spoke to his disciples that a little boat should stay near him because of the crowd, so that they wouldn't press on him. For he had healed many, so that as many as had diseases pressed on him that they might touch him. The unclean spirits, whenever they saw him, fell down before him and cried, You are the Son of God. He sternly warned them that they should not make him known. He went up into the mountain and called to himself those whom he wanted, and they went to him. He appointed 12 that they might be with him, and that he might send them out to preach, and to have authority to heal sicknesses and to cast out demons. Simon, to whom he gave the name Peter, James, the son of Zebedee, John, the brother of James, and he surnamed them Boanerges, which means sons of thunder, Andrew, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, the son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. He came into a house. The multitude came together again, so that they could not so much as eat bread. When his friends heard it, they went out to seize him, for they said, He is insane. The scribes who came down from Jerusalem said, "He has Beelzebul, and by the prince of demons he casts out the demons." He summoned them and said to them in parables, "How can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. If Satan has risen up against himself and is divided, he can't stand, but has an end. But no one can enter into the house of the strong man to plunder unless he first binds the strong man, and then he will plunder his house. Most certainly I tell you, all the sins of the descendants of man will be forgiven, including their blasphemies, with which they may blaspheme. But whoever may blaspheme against the Holy Spirit never has forgiveness, but is guilty of an eternal sin, because they said, 'He has an unclean spirit.'" His mother and his brothers came, and standing outside, they sent to him, calling him. A multitude was sitting around him, and they told him, "Behold, your mother, your brothers, and your sisters are outside looking for you." Oh, okay. For some reason I thought that was the end. He answered them, "Who are my mother and my brothers?" Looking around at those who sat around him, he said, "Behold, my mother and my brothers, for whoever does the will of God, the same is my brother and my sister and my mother." Okay. That's a better ending. I was like, I knew it said that, but it seems like it wasn't scrolling for some reason. Okay. That's Mark chapter 3. I'm noticing like just a few little words of difference between this version that I'm reading and what I'm used to. It's very small. They're insignificant differences, but like I've mentioned several times, I'm reading from WEB version, which is World English Bible. And the only reason for that is because it's public domain and I don't have to worry about copyright stuff. Probably would be fine if I read, one of the main versions, but I just don't want to have that be an issue later. If I keep doing this all year, could be possibly. The only other one that is halfway decent that is not copywritten in the United States is King James, but I'm not a huge fan of King James. It's a little bit difficult to read, and I already struggle with reading as it is. So I want to choose one that's more modern English, which pretty much everything except for King James is more modern. New King James is cool. So I guess regarding Bible versions, not that it matters, but my favorites are probably ESV, NASB, NIV is okay, and New King James I also like. I've never really been a King James person, just because there's so many others available. It's ridiculous. I think there's like 100 versions and translations in English. It's just absurd how many there are. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, the only reason I chose WEB is for the public domain reason. There's a couple other versions like it, but I think NET version might also be like that, but I'm not totally sure. I think it has limitations on how you're supposed to use it. But yeah, and then just for anybody that's interested, I'm using the Word app. It's like a Bible app for Windows. I've been trying different apps and I can't really find one that's like perfect, but this one's okay. All I'm really using it for is the overlay on my stream. Just wanted it to look nice. So, yup, that's the thing. As far as vlog stuff, I usually do a quick vlog at the end. Just kind of update on what's happening. Today I was hoping to maybe go out and apply for some jobs, but I just kind of had a downer morning for whatever reason, just felt kind of off. So I didn't do that. But I did get outside. I had this idea to build something very simple, but lately I've been thinking about again my journals. So I've been journaling since I was a teenager. Just writing whatever. I don't know what most people think of when they hear journaling. I guess keeping a diary, I guess that's what girls call it, but usually I don't call it that, but I call them journals, but they're basically the same thing. It's just a book that you write down your thoughts and memories and stuff. Uh, so yeah, I have like a ton of them, a big old stack of them, and I've been wanting to read them. It's slightly possible. I'm not very good at hearing from God specific things, but it's possible that He has been trying to get me to do that for some reason. I'm not sure if that's true. Because, like I said, I'm not that good at figuring out what He wants me to do. But anyway, I feel like I'm going to do it just because it's slightly possible that He might want me to do it, and or I think it would just be useful to do anyway. I've actually never really done it. I've tried, but I don't really like reading that much. And anyway, but I'm also going to try to scan them in. So I have a big printer scanner all in one thing, and it's super huge and heavy. And so I wanted to have it like right in front of me, like right here, so I could just like lift the cover on it and scan stuff without like bending over and twisting, wrecking my back and stuff. So I've done that before where I do big scanning projects and I have to like reach over some way, and after time it gets kind of painful. Anyway, so I took a old little adjustable height, almost like TV tray thing that I have that's on wheels, and it's super not steady enough for a giant heavy printer, like no way. But I added some boards to it to make it pretty strong, and so that was kind of what I worked on today, which is kind of fun. I like working with wood, just using basic power tools, and I've built a ton of stuff like for my living space, and a lot of my furniture is on wheels so I can move it around and stuff. So I've done a lot of that kind of thing. Anyway, so that's what I did today, and I've been scanning in pages. I've also been thinking about this for years, actually. I don't want to overemphasize or consider my journals as something useful or purposeful, but I don't think there's that many people that have written as much as I have in journals, and so I just wonder if there's any purpose for it besides just my own mental health and stuff, spiritual growth, all that. There's nothing profound about them in my opinion. They're just, my personal writings, but I have thought over the years that maybe I would share some of them selectively with somebody. I don't know who, but and ever since I've been live streaming for the last 4 years, man, it's almost 5 years now. I think 20. Yeah, I mean, like this is 2024 now. I always say 4 years, but really it's been almost 5 years. Anyway, I've thought about reading some of my journals on stream. I don't do that interesting stuff anyway, and it's really just a personal expression thing for me, just to do the creative hobbies and whatever stuff that I enjoy, just sharing it. I don't really expect anybody to take any interest, but I've thought about reading journal entries as well from the past. Just kind of as a fun thing to share. Not fun, that's the wrong word. Boring thing, but just some of them have interesting insights that would be useful to share. Actually, when I look back on my youth, I consider myself more mature and stable. When I was younger, I feel like I was basically a better person back then. I haven't really changed much, so I think most people that I know personally have changed a lot since when I knew them when they were younger. But when I analyze myself, just kind of am honest about it, I don't feel like I've changed very much at all. I'm pretty much the same person I always was. But I feel like my mental capacity is decreased. Just the older I get, the less efficient my brain works. So I feel like I was smarter and maybe more thoughtful and patient, and I had better virtues when I was younger, I think. Anyway, so it could be interesting to read some of that stuff and maybe share some of it. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not, but I am in the process of scanning those in because I just want to have a digital copy of them. And if I just while I'm doing that, if I decide I'm going to share them, then I would just start doing that on my stream, I guess. But probably not like a daily thing or anything like that. But and then I was thinking, if I do that, would I start from the beginning and just go from beginning to end, or would I thought of like, if I scanned them all in, I could write a program to um, come up with a random date or something like that, and then I would just read a journal thing from that day. But I think it would probably make more sense to do it chronologically if I did that. But then also there's privacy issues, like if I name people in my journal, I would have to either skip those ones or change the names or whatever. But so yeah, I haven't really decided any of that, if I'll do it or not, but it's something I thought about. Anyway, and one of my hobbies is I like bookbinding, and that was actually inspired largely because of my journaling. So I've been doing it for so many years. I thought, well, I always have to buy a new journal every time I fill one up, and why not try to learn how to make them? Because some of the ones that I've had over the years are terrible. Like they just aren't made well. Like either the paper is not acid free, or like the binding is bad, and it just like, what is that from? The binding is fragile. Oh yeah, it's from Harry Potter, of course, which I've been thinking about a lot lately because I watched the series recently. The binding is fragile. Anyway, but yeah, some of them fall apart, and so I've ever since that kind of stuff happened, and I just thought, well, I could try to learn how to make my books or make books for myself. And I don't remember how long ago that was that I started doing that. I think it's been at least 10 years now, probably more than that. Um, and yeah, I've done some bookbinding on stream over the last 4+ years, but it's been a while since I've done really anything creative on stream. But I've been wanting to get back into that, but I don't know if that'll happen or not. Keep saying that. But I have like, I don't even know how many. I think it's possible I have over 100 books halfway done. I know I have a large number of them. So like I need to finish some of them. But anyway. Yeah, other than that, let's see what else is going on. Not a whole lot, I don't think. Not really. That was the thing I wanted to try to remember to talk about is just scanning in my journals and then making that uh, thing, the platform for my printer so I can be in front of me. So in a way, like this is becoming my journal. I mean, I may or may not talk about all the same things I would in my journal, but hey, Wally, how's it going? Over on Rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Actually, I'm probably going to end my stream pretty soon. But yeah, so I've actually done journaling in several different forms. Like there were some years where I didn't really write that much in my journal, but I was blogging, like back when blogging was a thing. Like nobody does that anymore, but I still have a blog. I just don't ever write on it. I actually kind of want to take my blog entries over all the years that I did that and like copy and paste them into a nice document and print them in a hand-bound book or two or however many it takes. Thought of doing that as a project, just so they could all be in the same format. But yeah, so like done the journaling, I've done the blogging, and now like live streaming kind of is a similar thing. The whole idea of vlogging, video logging instead of blogging. What is B logging? I can't remember what B stands for anymore. It's been so long. Give you a follow and like. Oh, thanks, dude. Thanks, man. What is that? That's going to bug me. B-log. What does that mean? It's been so many years since I've done that. But anyway, yeah, vlogging or live streaming is kind of the thing now. Kilimachi, are you support Mr. Trump or Mr. Biden? I don't really do politics, but I lean conservative for sure. Not really into politicians. Wattpad is great, brother. What's that? Is that what is it? Tell me about it. I don't know. I have no idea. Whoa, what's that crazy stuff going on? What in the world? What? BBY, baby, whoa, just gave me 13,200 likes. Whoa, that's crazy. That's a lot of likes. I'm still trying to figure out the YouNow platform, so I don't even know what likes are really, but it's like normally like on a post you can like it, but apparently on YouNow you can like it 13,200 times. Thank you. Cheers. I hope you have a blessed day. Thanks, you too. Appreciate that. I didn't even realize I had an overlay that works with YouNow. That was crazy, that big old... Oh, no, never mind. That was on YouNow. I thought that was in OBS. Likes boost your broadcasts, and you can also exchange them for bars, the currency here, or cash. Oh, wow. Wow, thank you. That's very, very kind of you. I'll have to look into that more. So back to Wally. I self-publish on Kobo.com and Draft2Digital.com. That's cool. So you're still... Is it like a blog type thing, like writing personal stuff or articles, or is it just basically like a website tool or something? Yeah, I used to be a web designer, like, I don't know how many years ago now. I'm losing track. I think it was like 9 or 10 years ago. Got burnt out with that career, so I gave up on that. But now I'm just trying to figure out or find any simple job, just some even minimum wage job, because I'm out of work. I haven't worked for like a year now. I'm desperately looking for work, but at the same time, not really excited about it. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so ever since I've like handwritten in journals, I have a hard time doing the digital thing, even though it's way faster and easier, and you can like edit your writings. Like if you make a mistake, you can type it differently or fix it. But I've always liked handwriting, and I have like a huge collection of pens, which I've shown on my stream a million years ago. Could show it again sometime. And then I also have like pens or inks and dipping pens, like quill pens type things, pen nibs and stuff. And I really enjoy writing. It's kind of therapeutic for me. The only problem is it takes forever. Wish you luck and welcome you here. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Yeah, I'm actually streaming on a bunch of platforms to do the multi-streaming thing, but just figuring out YouNow. Pro tip, try adding things like chill, just chatting, major tags when you're here so people can find you easier. Nice. Yeah, I'm not like super concerned about growing a huge channel. I've been live streaming on various platforms since 2019, and I've always kept it pretty small. Even though I stream like more often than a lot of people, I've never had like a huge following or tons of people in my chat or anything. And I'm pretty strong introvert, so not really after a huge following or anything. But if it happens, it happens. But it's not really what I'm looking for. But I appreciate the advice, though. Yeah, I know how that works. Like every platform has kind of favored categories that get thrown in the highlights, and usually it is chatting or just chatting. But currently, I'm chatting right now, but like generally what I'm doing right now around this time is doing Bible reading streams. So I'll chat in between chapters and at the end and stuff, but it's kind of its own thing. But yup. But eventually I might get back into my variety content, which historically I've done a lot of different things on stream, but lately I've just been doing the Bible reading thing. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna head out. I try to keep these kind of short because I stream almost every day, at least 5 days a week. So I try to keep them around an hour or less if I can. But it's nice to meet you. Do I pronounce that like baby? That's what it makes me think of when I see BBY, but is it? I don't know how I should pronounce it. Conversationally, it's better to have less people sometimes. Oh, I totally agree. I don't even like watching big streamers because you're just one in a million and you're not friends with them typically unless you try really hard to make friends with somebody like that. But I like having actual friends that aren't just parasocial connections. They're, deeper connections. So that I usually, if I watch other streamers, it's usually small streamers. Nice to meet you. I hope you have good days. Yes, that's my username. So baby woe. Alrighty. Cool. It's nice to meet you. But yeah, anyway, I'll keep being here pretty much every day, 5 days a week, and any other times that I might get the motivation to do other random stuff. But thanks for becoming a fan. But all right, well, yeah, it was nice to meet you as well. Good night, and yeah, hopefully I didn't miss any of your messages. Oh, you said no, you can sell you ebooks. Okay, got it. I did read that. I just didn't read it out loud. See you again sometime. Hope I get to see a Bible reading. Yeah, it's going to be like 5 days a week, but I don't have a schedule, and that's kind of on purpose because I don't want streaming to become a burden, so it's kind of just whenever I have time. So yeah, but who knows? My favorite is Matthew 7:12. Nice. Do you have it memorized? I'm not very good with references, so I can't pull them up just out of my brain from the numbers, but I'll look it up later, or you can type it in chat if you want what that says, because I don't remember offhand, but it's cool. I'll give you a minute to respond, otherwise I'll probably head out, and I'll definitely read that one later just to do unto those as you would like to be done unto you, for that is the law and the prophets. Oh, nice. Yeah, a lot of people call that the golden rule, I guess, which I don't know how it got that name, but yeah, it's a good one. Nice. Cool. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for dropping by. It's good to meet everybody that dropped by, and even if nobody chats, I'm still going to do this because I enjoy the interactions, but if it doesn't happen, I understand. A lot of people don't really want to get involved in religion or politics, and totally understand. So, but if you enjoy listening and lurking, you're always welcome. So yeah. Anyway, I will catch you all later. Thanks again.